Okay. Hey,
I'll be
so
right
what did
back.
y'all?
I
All
got
Yeah,
right.
go. What'd
Acting
you
like
think, King?
RP, Christopher.
I mean, I
Ah.
mean, boy, what'd you think, King?
It went great. It went great. You know what's so funny? At the end when you get ready to call on Christopher to call us out or to send us
Hmm.
out, I feel
Hmm.
like you should start singing a hymn or something. It feels like that's you should start singing us out.
Okay.
Ah! I don't know. It just seems like when you bring that up, he's gonna start singing a hymn or something. So I don't know.
Oh, when I say
It just
take us
kind of
out.
yeah, take us out. I feel like he's oh
Well,
man.
How'd you feel about the energy?
Energy was great. Energy was
Okay.
great. Yeah, energy was great. I love the rapid fire questions, even though mine weren't as rapid.
Hmm.
But again, it just makes you think, and so
Hmm.
um, but I enjoyed that. I like that. I like that keeps us on our toes, and it keeps it interesting. It keeps it
Hmm.
interesting. So I,
Hmm.
I appreciate that.
What'd you think about it? What'd you think about it, King Christopher? What do you think about the podcast?
I think it was phenomenal, brother. I loved it.
Okay. Okay. It feel natural. I mean,
Yes,
yes. It didn't feel like it was scripted at all. I didn't feel that way.
it wasn't. That's why.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah. It
Yeah,
was
and I
it was
like
good.
the different opinions between like Mackie and me and whatnot, like for certain
Hmm.
things. I think that was good.
Hmm.
Yeah, yeah. It should be friendly debate. We're brothers. We're not
Yes,
we're not we're
absolutely.
not the same. We always think differently, and
Yeah.
and to me, that's why I love King Christopher and our name. We put King before it because we run our own kingdom. Christopher
Hmm.
has his household is his kingdom. It's an extension. Now his gym is an extension of that. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? And Robert the same way. So we run our own kingdom. So I feel like it's just built upon that.
Cool. Cool.
Yeah.
And we'll keep it just like that, Kings.
Hmm.
It'll be something different all the time, but I did enjoy it as well, especially keeping us on our toes. And I like the fact that you got to think on the fly because that
Yeah,
way your answers are honest.
Hmm.
It's coming off the rip, what's on top of your head. Even if you got
Yeah.
to think about it for a couple of seconds, that's okay as well.
Yeah.
That's
yeah. That's
okay.
that's one of my things is I think things so deeply, like you know
Yeah.
what I mean, and I'll be
Hmm.
connecting dots in the back of my head from different conversations and trying to on the fly. Sometimes it doesn't sound
Hmm.
the best
Mhm.
It's
working.
okay. It's okay. You get your point across.
Yeah.
You
That's
guys
okay.
ever
So
heard? You guys ever heard of polymath mind?
I
Mhm.
think that
Haru?
sounds familiar just a
I
little
haven't.
bit.
Polymath minor.
Polymath. It's like the type of like there's different personality type of people. Like polymath is the type of mind,
Hmm.
and something I was exposed to the other day, and I've been reading some stuff about it, and I think that's the type of person I am. Is I'm a polymath, which at a basic level um, would be a person uh, that dives deep into different areas, right? Different kinds of paths, like maybe history, science, biology, music, all the above. And never masters any of them, but goes deep enough to know them and be able to connect the dots between the two. Which, like, an example would be like some of your philosophers that were scientists
Hmm.
in past times. Like, you know what I mean?
I do. I do. I know what you're saying.
Hmm.
Yeah, I know what you're saying. Yeah.
Like somebody's always on the move. Like, gets into something, goes deep, becomes obsessed about it, and then
Hmm.
uh, in their mind they think they mastered it, and they move on to the next one.
Right.
Hmm. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. I used that the other day with telling my wife about staying up late because she was like, "Babe, go to bed early." And I'm like one of like those, detectives and inventors where you
Hmm.
just stay up late and you might doze off for a couple hours and get back up again, jump back on a project, like, because you just have to get this going. You have to figure this out. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? And so I feel you on that, Christopher, for
No,
sure.
I'm with you too, man. It's like um, just dealing with the podcast and getting everything out to everybody, staying up like to 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning, working on
Hmm.
this, because it's got to be right. And I want to make sure I'm on top of everything to get it to the Kings. And
Right.
but it's that part of pushing yourself and uh hey, it's beautiful, man. I can't stress it enough, Kings. I am very grateful for this
Hmm.
thing. I really
Right.
am.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
really
it's a
am.
joy. It's a joy.
It
But
really
like you
is.
said, it's so many people involved. Where it's not just us. It's our wives, it's our kids
Mm-hmm.
because we take this time away from them. So, I just want to thank them too. Each
Mm-hmm.
one of your wives and your kids and your family in general because they allow this time to be possible. Because
Mm-hmm.
without them, baby said no, brother, I'd be like,
Mhm.
I gotta go home. I can't come out and play today, fellas. I'm gonna have to make it another day.
You know, you had mentioned there about going to bed. You know, if I was trying to get me to go to sleep last night, it's like I can't. I can't. I got to get on this thing. You
Hmm.
know, baby girl. My little one woke up at 5 this morning, and so been up ever since. And it's like, well, maybe you could take a nap. I said, I sure can't. I can't do
Right.
it. I got to go
Yeah.
here
Yeah.
and get ready for the podcast. I can't
Right.
do it. And so,
Right.
and it's something too to be able look tired. Yes, that's just listen. That's just a normal part of the vocabulary. You know, I don't even know what that means. However, to come into the podcast and then click that switch and be able to bring that energy and to meet my king's energy is
Hmm.
something that I'm also grateful for. Instead of coming on here, yeah, let's do this, yeah,
Right.
you know,
Right.
and it's
Right.
like,
Yeah.
you
Right.
know, that would kill the thing. That would spill over to you guys. Like, what's wrong with this? What is he doing? You know, so
Are you
it's
feeling drained a lot, man?
you know, sometimes I do. So I just got when I'm getting regular with weight training again. And so that is a bit draining initially until I get back to the form. So like I did shoulders and traps and abs yesterday. And so I am a little bit tired. You see the all them bags and everything. Then baby girl got up at 5 this morning. It's
Right.
like,
Right.
oh my God. And so I'm thinking like maybe I'll pound some coffee. Like I ain't got time. I got to get in here. I got to get this thing ready, get the stuff out to y'all. And so I do feel a little bit drained. However, you know, listen, my day's about to start here in a couple hours when them kids get out of school. It's going to be balls to the wall. And so,
Yeah. Homework. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
man.
Dinner. Yeah.
Yeah,
Snacks.
man.
Yes.
Oh, man.
Yes.
Come on now. Come on now.
Hmm.
And so
Yeah.
you cussing right now. You cussing. And so she's going she's gonna be
Yeah.
like,
I know. I know what you mean. I know.
wife, talk
It's
about tonight. Tonight you're going to go to sleep. I say, okay, we'll see. We'll see. I'll
right.
do my best. I'll do my
Right.
best.
Right.
Have you had
Right.
your have you ever had your Chi levels checked?
No, I haven't actually. I haven't had that done yet.
I'd just ask for a simple blood test to
Yeah.
see where you're at with your Chi
Oh,
levels.
what? I take that back. So now, no, I guess it's not the same because I just had recently had my blood taken and everything was good. But I don't know if the T is that a specific type of test? Is
Yeah,
that
you have to
include-
ask him for it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I would just kind of just so you have that knowledge to see where you're at in
Sure.
testosterone. Because if you get tested and you're like 100, between 100 and 200,
Yeah.
I mean you're low.
Right.
And that could be explain a lot of what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'll tell you, my doctor is my wood in Pond Rising. As long as I make sure I got that upon rising,
Mm-hmm.
I feel like
That's
I'm
right.
doctor.
I mean, you got that, man.
Yeah.
You wake up with
Yeah.
that with one
Yeah.
RP.
Yeah,
We
you
get-
know,
we getting a little.
I mean,
Hey.
hey, that's
no,
That's
but-
real
no.
talk though.
It is.
I mean
real
that's
talk.
your
real
first
talk.
indicator. If you're not waking up with one, that means your testosterone's low.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Hmm.
I mean that's a sign that your body's producing testosterone. You should have about 3 to 5 erections a night.
Mm-hmm. That's a. Hey, you know what? That's a good topic of conversation.
Yeah. Yeah. Mine starts about 3 a.m.
Yeah.
3 a.m. 3 a.m. to the time I get up.
I mean, but your age, like how old are you again, RP?
56.
56. I mean, you're closing to that 60 age range.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, I don't see anything where I think that's actually a good thing that we have the options for TRT now.
Mm-hmm.
It can help a lot of people as they age.
Mm-hmm. That's a good. We need to bring it up in one of our conversations.
I don't know what your thoughts on that, Mackie. I mean, I don't think you should be taking it unless you need it.
Mm-hmm.
But as you age, especially with in today's world, everything's against us for testosterone. And if you don't plan on having any more kids, it might be a good idea to get on a not. There's a difference between TRT and taking steroids.
Absolutely.
True.
Absolutely.
All right, you know
Absolutely.
when you start getting to 250 milligrams a week plus, that's a cycle.
Yes.
A TRT dose is going to be between 100 and 200, and that depends on the person. Some guys need more, some guys need less.
Yeah.
Yes. So let me add to that too. I'm sorry. Go ahead, King. Go ahead.
Well, let me just say this real quick. So, Chris asked me about the TRT, and so I really think that most men aren't active enough. So I have
You're right, yeah.
I have a couple homeboys. They call me and express their feelings, about having low T. And I would say you need to move more. You need to do legs. You need to run. You need to run sprints. You need to go run. You need to do, squats or something like that. So for an example, I told my brothers of mine, I said, look, right before go in the bedroom, 30 minutes before, go do some squats. Go run, do some squats, get that blood flowing. And sure enough, he did. And he was, he was like, man, I'm kind of becoming a minute man. And he said, I was in there for 45 minutes because that blood is flowing. So I just do believe we become inactive. Now, are there anomalies where you have men that have low testosterone, meaning that due to the foods we eat, matter of fact, Generation Z, I believe that's what it is, their testosterone is very low. I've met a lot of young boys, I think Christopher talked about this before too, in their early 20s, whose testosterone is 100, 150,
Wow.
and that's just unreal. But
And some of them have to get testosterone injections just so the body can get through puberty, because they're not producing enough testosterone to even get through puberty.
Yeah, but our great-grandfathers, their testosterone was high
Way high.
all the time. I mean, that's why they're able to have 15, 16, 17-year-old, 17 kids. And I'm not even being funny.
No, you're not.
My grandfather had like 18 kids. But the inactivity, not being active is a huge problem in men. And then when they go get it, I think their body becomes dependent on it to some extent, right? I don't know. Chris is a little bit more in depth into it as far as at what level it becomes non-existent for your natural production to decline. But again, I feel like you need to be doing everything you can to build it naturally, because and then too, it's a psychological thing.
It is too.
I think go ahead.
You have to have challenge. That's another thing with men is yes, working out, lifting weights is the huge factor in producing, to tell your body to stimulate testosterone production. But at the same time, we also need challenge. And when you think back when you were 16 years old as a young man in puberty, you want to challenge everything. I'm stronger. I'm bigger. I can run faster. No, I can jump farther. No, I'm better at Mario Kart. Whatever the thing is, you want to challenge everything. And then as we age, we lose that. Right. And so you need to create challenges for yourself and overcome that challenge. And it's good to have a group of guys that you can challenge each other.
Sure.
But yeah, I tell a lot of guys, I run a gym. A lot of guys come up to me and ask me about steroids and TRT. And I tell them all, I'm like, once you get on TRT, I said, that is a life-changing decision. Because as soon as you inject, TRT is a steroid. It's testosterone. It's the same thing bodybuilders take. You're just taking it in a smaller dose to replicate your natural production amount. That's what TRT is. But as soon as you decide to start taking that, it's an exogenous hormone. The body is smart. And what's going to happen is it's going to signal your body to stop producing testosterone. Then your balls are going to shut off because you already have some. So it's like, we already got some, so we don't need to make any. And then when you get off the testosterone, you want to try to go back naturally. It's really hard to get your balls back online.
If you ever do.
Yes. And so it's in life. Like if you do decide to do that, there's a good chance you're going to have to do it the rest of your life.
That's right.
Yeah.
Not saying it's a bad thing, but you have to be able to understand that's a non-negotiable. If you want to feel good, you got to have testosterone. Yeah. And if you cut it off with steroids, you're going to have to start taking TRT most likely.
Yeah. Do you due diligence on that? And so everything you gentlemen said are great points, and it's very true. A mindset, and if you do take those steroids, there's going to be sacrifices that you're going to have to live with lifelong. And that's why I add to that too. Rest also plays an important part in that, which I do not get. And so I know that, and now I have seen the difference when I do get rest. It's like on the ceiling type thing. You know what I'm saying? Well, but I, and so, the I can get my levels tested. I don't think that's the issue, but I will certainly do that. I know for sure that I don't get enough sleep, and I know that it's part of the problem because the mind's always there. But sometimes the body is like, hey, I don't give what you thinking here. I'm tired. You know what I mean? And
sunlight, man, you need sunlight.
Yes.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
Very important.
Yeah.
And just to be honest, you need more sunlight than I do.
Yes.
You got darker skin.
I don't know because
really?
Melanin is huge in the body. Matter of fact, melanin repairs molecules. It's
No, what I mean for vitamin D production. So like
vitamin D.
And vitamin D is part of testosterone production. And since your skin is darker, you're more conditioned. You can handle more sunlight, so your body can absorb less sunlight because it's the evolution. Like, you're talking about evolution, Mackie. Your skin is darker. You have a lot more melanin in your skin, so you can resist the sunlight more than I can. And also so your body's has evolved that way. So you actually need more sunlight to be able to create vitamin D versus me, because my skin's lighter, so I can absorb more than you can. I'm not repelling it as much because I have less melanin.
But I would think that, you would want to draw more melanin out, because that would give you a protective layer also. And then too, it would even help just with your mitochondrial structure. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Because melanin plays a huge role in just that's what I don't understand too about, men have dark complected lenses, because you don't need sunglasses. You have natural melanin in your eyes already. So I don't wear matter of fact, I do a lot of sun gazing.
But did you know that the blue eye is actually the absence of melanin in the eye?
That is. Yeah.
So I have blue eyes, but they only appear blue because because of reflection. So I actually don't have any color in my eyes because they're blue. That's a lack of melanin. And you can actually handle sunlight better than I can.
Yeah. Like I said, I sun gaze, and from what I understand too, sun gazing helps decalcify the pineal gland. You know what I mean? A lot of I think the government of the United States, looked into victims from the Vietnam War, and they started to look into the calcification of pineal gland, and they were saying some people had calcified pineal glands and others didn't, and they wanted to determine what was the cause of that. You know what I mean? And
fluoride is one of them.
Fluoride is one of them. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Matter of fact, I don't think there's, and correct me not, Chris, I don't think there's any truth about how fluoride is even good for the teeth or the bones.
No.
Yeah.
No, it's actually bad for your bones.
Right.
And it's actually it's bad for your mind.
I heard milk was bad too. Now, Chris, I know is a big believer on milk, but I heard that the milk itself pulls calcium versus actually putting in calcium. So
no,
I don't know. You know how it is. Information these days.
Now, when you drink, if you drink oat milk and almond milk, right? Those type of milks they're not milk. It's just freaking ground up filtered through a coffee filter, and they add all these ingredients, and those things can actually pull, because you're if you drink oat milk, think of how much oats you have to grind up to make an oat drink. All right, now you're consuming way more plant compounds from that milk than you would do normally if you ate them. And those things sequester and pull minerals from your body. If your minerals are getting pulled from your body, that means your bones are getting less dense because minerals are being pulled from them. But dairy milk, no, like it's like literally you can look at my DNA, and I have the genetic enzyme in my DNA to create the enzyme I need to digest milk. So, like, if I wasn't meant to drink it, then why would my body have that enzyme?
Right. Yeah.
And it's on a genetic level. It's my DNA. I mean, I can drink a gallon a day. Yeah. And my health is great. And I have very strong bones.
Yeah. And I think that's a big thing too that we don't understand is everybody's different.
That's right.
Yeah.
Everybody's different.
That's right.
Like you can't even go get a fingerprint done and they're going to say, well, yours is similar to such and such, because that's not even close to true.
That's right.
You know what I mean? Like I don't do dairy. I don't do meat, I do meat every 4 ounces, maybe once a month now.
But man,
for 13 years,
I really think when it comes to dairy, I think most the reason why we have so many people that are lactose intolerant is because of the type of dairy we've been consuming over the generations since pasteurization came out, and it's illegal to drink or eat anything like raw cheese. Like you go to Europe, your cheeses are going to be, it's a totally different kind of cheese than what we have in America.
Right.
And you go back, like, look at the Mongols. I mean, people's been drinking milk for thousands of years. But the problem in today's world is the last 70 years, we've been drinking milk that gets heated to 500 degrees. Yes. And every enzyme, every bacteria that's aids in the process of digesting that is stripped away. And we're drinking dead milk. And that can, to me, that can cause problems.
Yeah.
Because we're drinking a dead product, not something nature intended.
I totally agree. It seems like before 2000, meat was great for you. I mean, milk. I mean, there was just cereals weren't as bad, and it's like after 2000, my body started reacting differently to everything I was ingesting. I had to like totally change my eating habits just due to, I guess the the process of how they deal with
Mhm.
meat and deal with cows and stuff. So I mean, and I
Local's the
think
best way.
yeah, yeah.
The closer you can get to
that's true.
local, the better the feud's going to be.
That's right.
I'm like Tyson
Yeah.
chicken. When you go to the store at the grocery stores, they literally dip that chicken in bleach.
Oh, wow.
That chicken breast you get at the store, like it's wrapped up in chicken
Mhm.
breast, skinless chicken breast. That's been soaked in freaking chlorine and bleach.
I believe
That's
it.
why it
Yeah.
tastes so good.
It's clean, huh? At least it's
Yeah,
clean.
it's clean. It got
Yeah,
washed.
well, you got to think of like you're eating bleach, and then that kills your stomach bacteria.
Mhm.
And now, like it's causing. That's why everyone's sick. Is our gut is messed up because all of our food. I mean, you have all the emulsifiers, the thickeners, and everything. Those are just things to thick things up. It's just junk calories, and they're causing the gums are causing all the gut problems. I mean, our guts are horrible. That's why we have problems digesting food.
You get your poopy.
Mhm.
You get your poopy.
Mhm.
Hey, Kings, that's a great conversation. And I didn't mention
Mm.
this at the end of the podcast, but we got book club coming up Sunday at noon, and this is the new book, African Glory, the story of the vanished Negro civilizations. And we got the introductions to the first two chapters. We're going to read them together, and we're going to discuss it together. I think that's going to be a beautiful, great interaction. I think that will provide for us and for everybody. Love you guys.
Love you
It was
too,
great,
man. I'm
Kings.
excited.
All
Great
right.
Kings.
See y'all later.
Sunday at noon.
Yes, sir.
Peace.
Oh, hey, Matt.